Afternoon, welcome back. So this afternoon we're gonna go ahead get one more step closer here on Chug. So I did get the pots and the pickups and the three-way switch and all that soldered into it. Make sure I can show you guys here. So that is officially all done. So it can be played once it has strings, but we can't put strings on it until we fill these screw holes here and re-drill them. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to get that filled, and then while it dries we're going to talk about these little nifty guys, and we're going to make some more of them. So stay tuned for that if you want to hang out. But right now we got to get the toothpick trick done here. So, Type On Ultimate, that's what I'm going to use. I'm just going to pull the top off of it, set that aside because I'm going to dip my toothpicks in there, but I want to trim off the points on it. So I got my little snap-on wire cutters, and I want to trim it to where it fits in there in the, let's go down here and take a look. You'll see what I'm talking about here. Let me zoom it down. Try 3. Yeah, that'll probably work. Alright, so I can look and see too. So what I'm talking about is the point is going to hold you from going all the way down in there. So you want to nibble enough of it off to fit in the hole nice and tight. Just a smidget more. And once you get it figured out how much you gotta cut off, and you don't want to cut all of the bevel off either. Let me see if I can get that to focus. Maybe. So I didn't cut all of the bevel off because you want a little bit of space in there for that glue to adhere around it. If you were just to cut it off and have the straight shaft, you know, you don't have much in there to glue to. So I always leave just a smidget of a bevel right there. Not much, but so yeah, that feels like it's pretty good. So all I'm gonna do is just take my glue, dip it in there, give it a couple little pokies. And I'll take my rag and wipe that off. Stick that back in there. Wipe that off. And then we'll come back later with a razor blade and clean that up. It's a pretty simple process. Make sure you get some glue in it first. You're going to get a bunch that builds up around the edge. That's okay. Just wipe a little bit off before you go back in there. Stick it in. Trim it off. And another toothpick. So we got 2 down and a whole bunch more to go. Let's just pull out a bunch of toothpicks right now. So I'm probably going to put the same exact tuners back on. Oh, poked myself with the toothpick. That's crazy. Toothpick is that sharp. Oh, where are they? Right here. So all the original tuners on them, I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can. They all have cracks in them. So I thought about changing them just because of that, but they're satin finish, and the set that I have is chrome. So those are going back on there, cracked or not. Go ahead and just zip off some of these, get it over with, and then we can fly right through this. So if you guys are wondering what those little leather things are that I showed you, I've been trying to find them. Steve gave me that one down at Lay's Loft. He said, here, if you're going to be hanging your white guitars on these string swing racks, make sure you use this leather thing. And he says that'll keep a white guitar from changing colors. He says he doesn't understand why the other ones don't do it like the white ones do, but yeah, he said this thing right here. So if you guys can find those. Now I can find that brand, and you can buy the whole stupid hook and everything. And same with I think it's called Levy's or Levy's, Levi, I don't know. I think it's called Levy's, but they have a hook too that has a round circle with leather, and then the whole hook's covered in leather, but they're 40 bucks a piece. I just want these things to put on mine. I can't find them, so we're gonna make a bunch of them here shortly as soon as I get done making a mess with this glue here. So that's pretty much what I do here. And I'll wipe all that glue off real good when I'm done. A little water and a rag. Now normally you won't see me using stuff like this on the finish. Chug is a relic guitar. We did I would guess you could say it, a very light restoration on the paint because it had some blisters on it. But we didn't go nutty fruitcake like we did on the J45. I wasn't looking for perfection. I was just looking for kind of like clean it up. This one here is a pretty deep hole, so I'm going to make sure we get a lot of glue in that one. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and just hold that in there while I wipe it, because it was a pretty sloppy hole. Got that cut off. Alright. Just keep on rolling. So I do got the ceiling hanger string swings assembled. They are going to go up on the farther wall here behind us, just temporarily, so I can get some guitars out of the cases and on the racks and figure out what else to do with the cases, because I got to get them off the benches. I got this whole table is just completely plugged up with cases. My other workbench over there, it's got like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's got 12 of them sitting on that bench. So I gotta get it under control. I'm losing my space. I went a little overzealous there with that glue. I kind of pre-poked that one. You guys see me do it. So this is the little trick done the right way. A lot of people will just take a toothpick, stick it in a hole, and break it off. And that works because it takes up the space, and when you put the screw in there, it expands and takes the space up. But this right here is the actual proper way to do it. It's a little more time consuming, but you're going to get a much better result out of this versus just shoving it in there and snapping it off. Because now when it dries, I can come in through here, my little X-Acto blade or whatever, and just nip them off a little bit more, clean them up, and then drill with a number 4 drill bit. I'll mark the drill bit so I don't go too deep. And then you just put the new screws in there and off you go. Oh, I screwed up. That one wasn't supposed to go in the glue. I'm supposed to get another one. Because see, that one didn't even fit in there. It's another reason you got to leave just a smidget of the bevel on there so you can get it on down in the hole, and then it force fits once it starts getting up the neck. But if you leave too much of the point on there, then it just holds it out of the hole. There's kind of a fine line, but once you figure it out, it's extremely simple. Not a big deal. Gonna have to get some more toothpicks out here. I think this is the last one I got that's gonna fit in anything. Yeah, that's a nice tight fit there. Almost done. Got 3 more holes to fill, guys, and then we're going to talk about these string swing neck hangers, covers, protectors, sleeves, whatever you want to call them. I looked all over last night for them. If you guys can find them, please let me know. Anytime I can find something or whatever, if you guys ask, I always shoot it to you in the direct messaging down in the description there. Somebody asked me where I got the ceiling hanger string swings that I just showed you guys. And if you go back to that video, you'll see a link in the description to the eBay seller that is selling them. He's selling them for $20 a piece, which is an absolute steal. So if you go there, it'll take you right to his eBay page, and you'll be able to purchase those string swing hangers. Now the red guitar stands that I showed you guys I bought off of Amazon, those are so garbage, just don't even, it's not worth the time. So just to pre-warn you guys, I sent those back, and I even tried to warn you in the description on that they were junk. So buyer beware on that. So we just want to take a little bit of, just a smidget of water just to kind of wipe that off. I did wax this before we did this, so it would be less apt to stick on the paint and gum it up. So there we go. That's probably going to have to dry 24 hours. And we'll be able to get that re-drilled out and cleaned up. But just real quick at my solder job there and my input jack. So yeah, we're getting real close. As soon as she dries up, we'll get those holes re-drilled. Got a little bit of spray wax here from earlier when I did the back of the headstock, but yeah. Fretboard's all cleaned up. I did not crown or anything. I got the stupid straight edge over there to check the neck and everything here before we string it up, but I think that these are fine. You can see a little bit of indentation there from Owen whaling on it, but you can't feel them. So it's just starting. I think it'll be all right. I don't think I have to do any crowning or anything like that this time, so we'll check that out. All right, you guys are probably chomping at the bit like, all right, I thought you were going to show me the string swing hanger things. Wow, if I could just get this stupid thing under control. All right, where can I put this? I guess I'll hang this over here on the scary hook. All right, so upholstery tool time here. I'll put this on before I knock it over because I am extremely klutzy. If I can make something happen, it'll happen. So in order to make anything, whether it's a motorcycle seat, car seat, stupid guitar mat, you got to start somewhere. And if you don't know where to start, having something to start with is a great thing to have. So I'm going to use this as a pattern. I didn't practice my 6 P's once again. And if you guys watch my channel, you'll know what the 6 P's are. If you don't, the 6 P's are prior planning prevents piss poor performance. So I didn't prior plan, so I didn't have razor blades out. I do things on the fly, you know. A lot of people sit down and do all their research and everything, and I'm just a person, so I don't want to pretend I know everything. I'm just going to jump in and do things. So figure it out. So what we want to do is let me make sure I'm not blurring it out on you so you guys can see it's stitched together. So the first thing that we're going to have to do is cut that apart. Well, maybe what I should do is actually show you guys what it does first, no? I think that would probably be pretty smart. So this is what we have right here holding the guitars. So what you do is you pop these little keepers off, which I just realized now, all those guitar ceiling things, pretty sure in the listing it had these keepers on it. If he did, I'm gonna leave him negative feedback, because you don't picture something with the keepers and then take them all off and keep them. Anyways, after you get the keepers off, this little guy slides on like this. I don't know if I can get it to slide on. There we go. All right. So that is the whole concept of the deal. And this is pretty thick leather. This is kind of more like tooling leather, like belt leather. So that's probably why they put that relief split in there. And I don't think I'm going to have to do that on these, but I'm going to mark it anyways. And let's go ahead and show you what there is to mark. So this is a chalk pencil, and those are refills. So you have that little gadget there. You also have, now for you guys that don't know, I've done automotive upholstery my whole life. So from the 1920s and 1970s, what I specialize, $1 million speedboats, blah, blah, blah. So I've done upholstery my whole life. These fancy little buggers here are different colored chalks, and they have a little wheel in the tip. And when you're, well, I probably didn't activate that one. Anyways, when you roll this, you know, it puts the chalk out on the line. I'm kind of glad it didn't do that. And then these are also chalks too. So some of them are broken, but basically you just use it like a pencil. So that's what you would use if you're using that chalk. And we have yet another pencil, chalk pencil with really tiny refills. Then you have these big wedge chalks, and if you need to sharpen these, what you do is you just take your scissors and you kind of go at a little bit of an angle like that, and it does make a mess. But when you're at the upholstery shop, it don't matter because you just sweep that crap up. But that's how you make a nice point on that. And don't really write good on this stuff, but here's just another chalk pencil. So most of the time when you're using vinyls, leather, cloth, all that kind of stuff, you have to use a chalk. If you can get away with using a pencil, but it has to be 100% graphite. It can't be like the one you write at school with. It's got to be, I should have brought one from the shop and showed you guys, but you can write on material with that. You just can't use anything like pen or marker or anything that's going to transfer or bleed. So anyways, what we have here is just a few scraps left over from a couple interiors that I did in leather over the years. I've used up most of it. This right here is red lambskin. So I actually made a guitar mat out of this for Pops. That's what he's got at home. He loves it. So this stuff here is actually a lot softer than the actual item itself. So that's why I said I don't think I'm gonna have to do these relief cuts, because my stuff is so soft, when it bends, it's gonna naturally bend. I don't think I'll need those cuts. So the next thing you gotta do, I mean, we got the black, gray, brown, you know. I just grabbed a few pieces of this scrap stuff. So the next thing we wanna do now is gently cut these threads. Alright. Now this isn't going to help you out none either if you don't have a sewing machine. And it's got to be sewing machine that's strong enough to sew through the leather. Now again, let's see if I can show you guys. Find a smaller piece. Where'd that one go? I just had it. Here it is. Alright. So you can see how thick this is. It's not as thick as belt leather, you know. Not quite as thick as tooling leather, but it's still along the same lines. It's very, very thick and dense, like cardboard. And where this stuff is extremely soft, pliable, and a lot thinner than that. So I think it's going to work out real good. So basically what we do now, you just take whatever it is that you want to trace it on. Now at my shop I have different weights and stuff that are made out of metal. So if you go to like a metal fabricating shop or something like that, you can get solid cut-offs of steel. You can just take your grinder and grind them up, prime them, paint them. When they dry, you can use it to hold your material down, like when you cut a seat apart and you lay your piece there to pattern it out and put your marks and all that, blah blah blah. So anyways, go ahead and take your chalk and you just trace it out. Now I will experiment and make these a couple different sizes and stuff like that. Obviously I'm not going to be able to sew these tonight. I will put a link in the description below where you guys can see the machine that I sew with, and you'll see me making some guitar mats and stuff like that. So I'll throw that down in there so you guys can see how I sew this stuff together. But I'll show you just how easy this is, because you could use cloth and other things. It's just got to make sure it's not going to react with the nitrocellulose paint on it, and I know that leather doesn't now, thanks to Steve. He said something about natural leather up against the guitar doesn't make it change color. So I figured, what the hell, I might as well make them for all of them, right? You know, I think a Susie homemaker, that's what I call them, something that your wife would have, it might make it through this. I'm not sure. But the other thing that I'm going to do too is, you see how this one is sewn? There is some applications like on the guitar stand where I'm going to make it to where you can Velcro them onto and try some different things to cover more of the stand. We'll see what happens. I could also put snaps and stuff in it too to make a cover for the stand, but I'm just going to sew these ones just to copy what's already done. But yeah, so all you got to do is just make sure you do a good job of cutting it out. Nice straight cuts. And then all we'll do is just fold those over and sew it. I'll re-sew that and fix it, and it'll be just fine. So the other thing too, when you get to your corners, if you kind of turn a little tiny bit as you cut, and then you get to the next corner and you turn as you cut, instead of stopping in the corner and then meeting back to the corner. So what's that's going to do is it's going to make that corner a little rounded, and it's not going to tear, you know. So just keep that in mind. These scissors here are like 20 years old. Back in the day they were like $100, and they are really good scissors, but not compared to the ones that I have at the shop now, and that's why these ones are here. But you can get these off of eBay and stuff as well. Like I said, these ones are extremely old. I got these back. I started upholstery when I was 18. I'm almost 49 now, I think, or 48. Hell, I don't know. I quit counting, but so that's what we're gonna do. Go ahead and sew those just like that, and then see, I don't think I'll need that relief cut. I don't know. We'll find out. I'm going to keep playing with it. They might have put that relief cut in there. I guess it don't matter if the seam sits down or not, because you see the relief cut makes it kind of stand up with their little name on it. It's probably why they used a thicker leather as well. But I think with this one, once you sew it down and you roll it, see how it's going to do that? So it might need that relief cut still, but it won't be hard to put in. You can just give it a little tiny nip with your scissors once you have it sewed together. And then just remember, if you ever do anything where you're going to have a seam, like say you wanted to hem that over, just leave yourself an extra 1/4 inch, so when you fold it and sew it, it's still the same size. But that's what we're going to do. The next time you guys see me, hopefully I have 24 of these made at least. So let me know what you think, and if you can find those, I highly recommend them. It's worked really good for me for a long time, but I just been fighting over the one, so now it's time to make some more, since I know how, right? So I guess that's it for now, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and get these made up, and we're gonna get the stands temporarily hung from the ceiling over there. I'll go ahead and show you. I got them assembled, so they're kind of just like the guitar rack there. You can adjust them any way you want, both facing away from the wall if you get it up against the wall, or you could hang it in a row and walk around it. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do it yet, but they'll be up there, and they got quite a bit of extension. They're all the way down into the bottom of that, so they could come out a whole nother foot. And I imagine you could mount them like that too, and flip them hangers and hang a guitar on them still, instead of putting them on the ceiling. Quite a few options, and 20 bucks a piece, you can't beat that. So alright guys, till later. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will get back to all these projects soon. Thanks for watching.